As we move on, we'll be having a glance of the 12 components of Nithyananda Yoga. Now, the first component is asana. Asanas are the comfortable seated position which allows the body and mind to come to a state of balance and restful awareness, where one can easily enter into a deeper and subtle dimensions of yoga. Now, the next component is pranayama. Now, when you breathe in of the process of inhalation, exhalation, there is a prana, which the life force that goes in. The three processes of pranayama is Rejka, Purka and Kumbhaka. Purka is when we inhale. This process is called Purka. When you hold the breath inside is Kumbhaka, and exhaling is Rechika. Now, the next component is mudra. Mudra refers to the positioning of limbs, fingers, even the tongues in certain way to seal the prana into our body. It's a way of aligning to the cosmos. The next component is bandhas. Now, bandhas are the internal awakening of the Kundalini Shakti. It is a Sanskrit word which it is the active contraction of active maintenance of a state of contraction and pressure in the body. Without bandhas, energy tend to leak out and tend to be blocked, dissipate out due to our various lifestyles. Now, bandhas act as a bridge between the disconnected areas of the energy circuits. This is the reason while pumping and realigning of the prana, the vital life energy and the Kundalini Shakti brings tremendous healing and balance to the physical and emotional and neurological system. The next component is Karna. Now, in Natya Shastra describes the movements of hands, feet as a karna as a sacred dance. Performing karna puts you in a state of high awareness of your body, engaging multiple body parts at the same time. The next component is visualization. In the science of yoga, context and intentions are everything. Why we bend our body matters. For whatever intention we move the body, that experience will be delivered to us. That's why in Kailasa's Nithyananda Yoga, we maintain the space of yoga as a ritual, as a direct connection between Paramashiva and us. The next component is japa, the internal chanting of mantra with the visualization of it rotating around the throat in a circular way, allowing the yogi to feel the mild vibration of that mantra. While chanting, we wear an energized Rudraksha bead exactly on the Vishuddhi chakra in the hollow of the throat. This is the place where air is getting converted into sound. If you maintain energized Rudraksha, constantly every word coming out will have the quote of that mantra. Now the next component is chanting. Now, mantra is a Sanskrit word that describes a sacred utterance of sound, a syllable, even a single word or a group of words. Mantra has a spiritual power with need to be initiated into mantra. Here, in every disciple of the supreme point of Hinduism gets initiated into Mahavakya. Now, the next component is weights. To intensify the practice of Dviti Vinyasa Krama, weights are implemented. Now the next component is mandalas. As you can see behind, as a Sri Yantra, behind which now yantras are the diagram which is a deity into which a deity can be invited by living corresponding mantra. Mantras represents the cosmos, and the human body is analogous to the cosmos. Now the next component is abharna. Now the sacred jewelry, Rudraksha Mala that we wear is abharna. Now it's a traditional abharna worn given by the Paramashiva, and while performing the Dvitiya Vinyasa Krama, the manifestation of basically the Rudraksha came from the teardrops of Paramashiva. Now the next component is Aushadha. Now we'll be using 3 Aushadhas: Bhasma, which we'll be applying on the 16 places, Kumkum on the 3rd eye, and turmeric on the temples. Now, as we have completed the 12 components, now we'll be starting our sequence of 308 asana sequence. So now as we get started, the first asana is Sukhasana. As we sit in a cross-legged position with head and spine in a straight line, bring both the hands in index finger and thumb finger together, place it on the respective knees. Visualize Lord Shiva in your space. Visualize the first pranayama will be starting is Samana Kumaka pranayama, where you inhale. Visualize heat and flame rising up along the spine towards the navel center. Engage all the 3 bandhas as the japa is Soham.
तत्सुखासनमित्युक्तम् अशक्तस्तत्समाचरेत् आसनं विजितं येन जितं तेन जगत्त्रयम्.
Bring the legs in Padmasana. Both the hands in Namaskar Mudra in front of heart center and raise it above the head. Visualize Lord Mount Kailas in your inner space as you engage all the 3 bandhas.
अथ पक्षे महादेव पर्वतासन मंगलम यत्कृत्वा स्थिररूपी स्याच्चक्रादिविलोपनम्.
Now relax. Now the next asana is, as we move the Panchpadma side, take few minutes, and the next asana is Haripavasana. Now bring soles of the feet together at front. Interlace a finger at the back. Bring your forehead on the ground behind the heels as you gaze to the nose. Engage all the 3 bandhas. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
पूर्व विधियाहु में जानो उभय भगतली संपुटठानो पिष्टपछेदो वो करल्यावो दक्षिण करसो वाम गहावो.
Inhale, rise up. The next asana is Nagipasana, as you sit with the same position as soles of the feet together, extended forward, cup both the hands forward and place it on the ground. Bring the forehead on the ground behind the heels. Visualize snake in your space as you engage all the 3 bandhas.
पूर्व विधि पर आगाने नीचो हो वी कहूं निफना से लगाजी हाथ आगाने धरती लगावे पसारी दो वो हाथ की अंजुली करे.
Inhale. The next asana is Kokilasana, as you bring both the legs, touch the big toe of both the legs in Prana Mudra and raise the legs above and cross it in Padmasana, elbows on the ground as you lean forward. Visualize bird in your space as you engage Mahamudra Bandha.
अथान्यदासनं वक्ष्ये येन सिद्धो भवे नरः अकस्मात् वायुसञ्चारं कोकिलाख्यासनेन च.
Inhale. Next asana is Nithyananda, as you place one ankle on the top of the opposite knee. Hold the opposite elbows Engage all the three bandhas, gaze to the nose, visualize Swamiji in your space as you rotate the arms in a circle clockwise and anti-clockwise direction.
घोड़ा बामा पाल की आशमा हिली सोज दच चरण को बार लोता परिगुल्फ समोज.
Now the next asana is Gajasana. As you place both the hands on the ground, lift the hips high, bring the feet closer. Now scoop the head forward and down in Gajasana as you visualize elephant in your inner space.
निब्जं पादाग्रे भूमौ कृत्वा लम्बी भूया मस्तकाग्रे निधाय.
Now the next asana is Rakshasana. As you, from the Gajasana position, lift the right heel up and left heel pressed on the ground as you switch the position of the legs and heels alternatively. Visualize Bia in your space as you perform Mool Bandha and Udyan Bandha. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
एकैकं पादमापञ्च गजासनं कुर्यात् वृक्षासनं भवति.
Inhale, rise up, stand tall on the big toes. The next asana is Vaisyasana as we bring both the hands, index, middle and ring finger at the heart center. Now perform Mool Bandha and Udyan Bandha as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
केशेन पादयुगलं बद्ध्वा तिष्ठेत अधोमुखः अथवा ईशावक्षे यत्कृत्वा सत्यवान् भवेत्.
Now lower the heels down. Now bring the legs in Aramandi, which is heels together, toes wide apart at 45-degree. Bend the knees. Now bring both the hands at the heart center, elbows parallel to the ground. Now we'll be simultaneously moving the legs and hand across the body on one side, then repeating on the other side. Switching the position again and again on both the sides. This is Urdhva which involves the movement of fingers as well. Now relax. The next asana is Balalingasana. As we stand on the left leg, bring the right knee to the chest, hands in Sarva Shankari Mudra, interlaced inside out. Engage all the three bandhas as you visualize yourself caressing a baby.
एकं जानुरसि आलिङ्ग्य स्थातव्यं बाललिङ्गनं भवति.
The next asana is Padpinasana. As you bring the right leg at the back of the buttocks, holding it with both the hand, head and spine in a straight line. Engage all the three bandhas. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
एकं जानुरसि आलिङ्ग्य स्थातव्यं बाललिङ्गनं भवति.
The next asana is Natarajasana. As you hold the right feet with the right hand and pull it, kick and back, and leaning forward, left hand in Bindu Mudra. Visualize Lord Nataraja in your space as you perform engage Mool Bandha, and the japa is Soham.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Now relax. The next asana is Balalingasana. As we stand on the right leg, bring the left knee and hands, hold it with the interlaced hand in Sarva Shankari Mudra. Visualize you are carrying a baby as you engage all the three bandhas.
एकं जानुरसि आलिङ्ग्य स्थातव्यं बाललिङ्गनं भवति.
The next asana is Padpidhanasana. As you bring the left leg back of the buttocks, holding it with both the hands, head and spine in a straight line. Engage all the three bandhas as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
स्थित्वैकस्मिन् पादतले कराभ्यां वेष्टयेत्तनुम्.
Now the next asana is Natarajasana. As you stand on the right leg, bring the left leg back, kick and pull. Leaning forward with right hand in Bandhu Mudra. Visualize Lord Nataraja in your inner space.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Now the next Karna is Ardharichita Karna. As you stand again in Aramandi. Now bring the right leg with toes tucked at back of the left leg. Heels up. Bring the left hand at the heart center. Swing the left hand like a pendulum on one side 3 times. Now exchange the position of the legs and hand. Swing the left hand like a pendulum on the other side. Now relax. The next is skeleton dance. As you visualize yourself as pure bones and start shaking the whole body. Your legs, hands, heads. Shake the body without any following any particular movement all across the mat. Now relax. Now as you bring your legs in Paramashivoham position, bring the hands at the back, palms facing backward. Now twist on one side with hip and hands opening and rotate on the other side and alternately switch the position on both the sides. This is Katicana Karna. Now relax. Now the next asana is Tadasana. As you stand tall again on the big toe, bring both the hands above the head, palms facing each other as you visualize palm tree in your space, engaging all the three bandhas. The japa is Shivoham.
Mahamudra Kono Tadasana Vibhedakan.
Now lower the heels on the ground. Next asana is Uttanasana. As you stand on the legs, bring both the hands down, bending forward. Head to the nose, as in head to the knees as you engage all the three bandhas. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
Mahamudra Kono Tadasana Vibhedakan Vinotanam Sata Kuryad Antarvatni Patipriya.
Now bring the body in the plank position. Now the next asana is Tarakshasana. As you tuck the chin in Jalanda Bandha and rotate the head from left to right again and again. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
Gajasanavastitva Mastakam Varam Varam Dakshina Kokshim Savya Kokshim Najet.
Now lower your body down. The next asana is Bhujangasana. Place both the hands side of the chest as you lift the chest up with lower back, with the strength of lower back as you visualize Cobra in your space. Perform Bhujangni Mudra as you open the mouth wide and inhale through the hollow of the mouth.
Gajasanavastitva Mastakam Varam Varam Dakshina Kokshim Savya Kokshim Najet.
Now bring the body again in plank position. The next asana is Sasana. Now as you bring the right knee to the chest and alternatively bring the left and repeat this, switching the position of the legs again and again on both the sides. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
Gajasana Samsito Janu Dvaima Kunche Varam Varam Kartavyam Shashasanam Bhavati.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om.
Now as we bring the, sorry for the technical glitch, now we'll be continuing our sequence with the Rathasana. Now as we bring body in the plank position, now bring one right leg between the hands and jump and bring the left leg, alternatively shifting the position of the legs both the sides. Visualize chariot in a space.
Gajasana Samsito Ekaikam Badam Puro Margena Brahmaitva Kartavyam Rathasanam Bhavati.
Now stand with, next asana is Virbhadrasana. As we stand, bring the right leg forward, toes facing front, left leg back, feet facing outward. As you bend the right knee at 90 degrees, bring both the hands above the head, palms facing each other, gaze to the nose. Visualize Lord Virbhadra in your space as you engage Mool Bandha and Udyana Bandha.
Vasishtamata Kaundinyam Urdhakukkutamevacha Ashtavakramatotanam Majuram Setu Bandhanam.
Now we'll be repeating Virbhadrasana on the other side as we switch the position of the legs. Now bring the left leg front, bending it at 90 degrees, hands above the heads. Now gaze to the third eye, engage Mool Bandha, Udyana Bandha as you visualize Lord Virbhadra in your inner space.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्थानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्.
Now, as you stand tall, the next asana is Vrikshasana. With standing on the left leg, bring the right leg on the inner thigh of the left leg. Now bring both the hands in Namaskar Mudra in front of heart center. Visualize yourself as a tree as you engage Moola Bandha and Udyan Bandha.
वामोरुमूलदेशे च जाम्यं पादं निधायतो तिष्ठेत् वृक्षवद्भूमौ वृक्षासनमिदं विदुः.
Asana, as you bring the right leg on the opposite hip, hands on the heart center in Namaskar Mudra, visualize Lord Garva in space.
गरुडासनमावक्षे येन ध्यानं स्थिरं भवेत् सर्वदोषाद् विनिर्मुक्तो भवति यः महाबली.
Now, standing on the right leg, bring the left feet on the inner thigh of the right. Bring both the hands in the heart center and raise it above the head. Visualize yourself as tree as you engage Mool Bandha and Udyan Bandha.
वामोरुमूलदेशे च जाम्यं पादं निधायतो तिष्ठेत् वृक्षवद्भूमौ वृक्षासनमिदं विदुः.
Now the next asana is Garudasana as you bring the left feet on the opposite thigh. Hands at the heart center in Namaskar Mudra. Visualize yourself as Lord Garuda as you engage Moolabandha.
गरुडासनमावक्षे येन ध्यानं स्थिरं भवेत् सर्वदोषाद् विनिर्मुक्तो भवति यः महाबली.
Now relax. Now the next asana is Trikonasana. Bring the right leg at front, toes facing forward. Now left leg at back, feet facing outward, sideways. Bring both the hands parallel to the ground, lean forward and down. Left hand towards the sky, gaze as you visualize triangle in your inner space.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Inhale. Now exchange the position of the legs as you bring left leg forward, right leg back. Bring hands parallel to the ground as you lean forward and down. Right hand towards the sky as you visualize triangle in your space.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Inhale, rise up. The next Karana is Nikutaka Karana as you stand in Aramandi, heels together, toes out, feet out at 45 degree, knees bend. Now bring both the hands at the heart center, right knee right heel up. Now both the palms are facing each other, one up and down. Now switch the position of legs and hands simultaneously and repeating. The next asana is Angushthasana. As you sit with toes tucked, perineum on the heels, bring the knees together, palms together at heart center, Namaskar Mudra. The japa is Paramashivoham. Visualize Swamiji in space as you perform Bhramari Pranayama, which is inhaling like a male bee and exhaling like a female bee.
कबन्धासनमित्याहुः गोरक्षासनमेव च अङ्गुष्ठमुष्टिकं ज्ञेयं ब्रह्मप्रासादिकं तथा.
Now inhale. The next asana is Sarasana as you bring both the hands in Varamudra, palms facing forward, fingers touching the ground. Bring the right leg forward, toes facing up. Vijay Swamiji in your space as you perform Bhramari Pranayama.
प्रसार्य एकं पादतलं संस्थाप्य
The next asana is Vidhunasana as you hold the big toe of right leg in Prana Mudra and lean forward, head to the knees. Hold the opposite leg with the opposite ankles with the left hand. Vijay Swamiji in your inner space.
उल्फस्थितो पादम् एकं प्रसार्य तत्पादाग्रं संस्पृश्य तत्करेण.
Inhale. Now we'll be repeating Sarasana on the other side. Again, hands in Varamudra, palms facing forward. Bring the left leg forward, toes facing up. Visualize Swamiji in your space as you keep performing Bhramari Pranayama.
प्रसार्य एकं पादतलं संस्थाप्य त्वेकपादकम्.
Now the next asana is Vidhanasana. Hold the big toe of the left leg with the left hand as you lean forward, head to the knees, ankles, holding the ankles with the right hand. Now visualize Swamiji in your space.
उल्फस्थितो पादमेकं प्रसार्य तत्पादाग्रं संस्पृशेत् तत्करेण.
Inhale. Now the next asana is Brahmajuramkus asana, as you keep little distance between the knees, back of the palms on the knees. Gaze to the ground as you perform Mula Bandha and Jalandhar Bandha. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दो फणा पानी होए वैसे एड़ी दो गुदानी वैसे.
Next asana is Kapilasana, as you drop the knees on the ground wide apart. Now place both the hands on the respective knees. Engage Mula Bandha or Dhyana Bandha. Gaze to the nose as you visualize Sage Kapila in your inner space.
उभय पगतले समटहरावे तिनकी माहिली को और मिलावे.
Now relax the bandhas. The next asana is Bhadra Gorakhasana. As you sit in the same position, shift the gaze to the third eye. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दो पगतले संबड़ करे कोरवारली भूपरि धरे.
Now the next asana is Suryasana. Now with the soles of the feet together, knees apart, lift the knees off the ground. Bring both the hands together, knees, little finger and thumbs together, fingers wide apart. This is Padma Mudra. Raise it above the head. Gaze through the gap between the hands. Visualize Lord Surya in your space as you keep performing Bhramari Pranayama.
एड़ी दो गुदा तरियाने फना पानी बैठक पुनिठाने.
Now, as you bring the feet flat at the back, sit on the perineum on the heels, hands on the respective knees. Gaze to the third eye. Now we'll be performing Manduki Mudra, which is rolling the tongue up at the roof of the mouth, visualizing catching the nectar of immortality dripping from the Sahasrara chakra.
पादतलौ पृष्ठदेशे अंगुष्ठे द्वे च संस्पृशे जानुयुग्मं पुरस्कृत्य साधयेत् मण्डूकासनम्.
The next asana is Uttana Mandukasana. As you, from the same seated position, bring both the hands at the back of holding the shoulders. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize frog in your space as you engage Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha and perform Manduki Mudra.
मण्डूकासन मध्यस्थं कुर्पराभ्यां धृतं शिरः.
Now relax. The next asana is Simhasana. As you cross your ankles at the back, perineum on the heels, place the hands on the respective knees. Now gaze to the nose as you visualize lying in space. Now open the mouth wide and stick out the tongue and exhale forcibly.
दक्षिणं सव्यगुल्फेन दक्षिणेन तदेतरं हस्तौ चान्वोर्णं स्थाप्य स्वाङ्गुलीश्च प्रसार्य च.
The next asana is Bhadrasana. Now bring the soles of the feet together at the back, knees wide apart. Bring both the hands in Prana Mudra and hold the opposite big toe. Gaze to the nose as you visualize Swamiji in space. Engage Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha.
गुल्फौ च वृषणस्याधो व्युत्क्रमेण समाहितः पादाङ्गुष्ठौ कराभ्यां च धृत्वा च पृष्ठदेशतः.
Now the next asana is Kakabhusandi Asana. Now squat the feet on the ground, knees apart. Now wrap the hands around at the back, holding fingers interlocking. Now gaze to the nose. Visualize grow in your space as you engage Mula Bandha and Pranayama is Bhramari Pranayama.
प्रथमे वेसक उकटठाने दोभो हाथपगं च आने.
Inhale. Now place both the hands on the ground in front. The next asana
आसन पवन आशी दुष्टा होई तो आची होई.
Now the next asana is
Uchakukare.
Lower your body down. The next asana is Parshvasana.
Majuram dandavat kuryat bhajmakam.
Now relax. Now twist the body on the other side as you place the elbows on the knee and the hip. Lean forward. Extend the legs outside. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize peacock in your inner space.
Majuram dandavat kuryat majuram dandanamakam.
Now bring the body in the plank position. You'll be performing Viraganathasana. Bring the leg from outside between the hands. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize Lord Kalbhairava in your inner space. The pranayama is Rejika Kumka Pranayama.
Asan ko guna biti jai.
Place the legs back. Now bring the left leg from outside between the hands. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize Lord Kalbhairava in your inner space.
Asan ko guna biti jai.
The next asana is Unmukh Pidhasana. Now, from the plank position, lower the elbows down on the ground, hips high, bring the feet forward, gaze to the third eye as you perform Unmukh Pidhasana.
Bhunyastau januni hattau chatuspadama vangmukham.
Now, from the plank position, we'll be performing Vasishthasana, with placing the right palm on the ground, palm hand straight, twist on one side, and then raise the left hand above, gazing towards the sky, which says Vasishtha in inner space.
ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुट वासिष्ठ मरीचहल मत्स्यकं परिवृत्तिं चोदरस्य विविधं धनुरासनम्.
Now rotate the body on the other side, performing Vasishthasana on the other side.
ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुट वासिष्ठ मरीचहल मत्स्यकं परिवृत्तिं चोदरस्य विविधं धनुरासनम्.
Now, as you be in the seated position with the legs extended forward, now toes facing upward. Now, as you place both the palms under the buttocks with palms facing up, as you engage Mool Bandha and Jalandhar Bandha, gaze to the nose, visualize Lord Hanuman in your inner space.
दोबू करकी उभय हथेली कौरवारली मैले भेली.
Now release the Dhyana Bandha, Jalandhar Bandha. The next asana is Paschimottanasana. With both the hands in Pranamudra, hold the big toe of the respective leg. Lean forward as you bring the head to the knees. Visualize Swamiji in your space. Engage all the three bandhas.
जानो परिललाटन्तो पश्चिमं ताण उच्यते येन केन प्रकारेण सुखं धार्यं च जायते.
Inhale. Next asana is Ugrasana. As you interlace the fingers at the back, knees little apart. Now, as you lean forward, bring the head to the knees. Visualize Goddess Kali in your space. Engage all the three bandhas.
स्वपानिभ्यां दृढं धृत्वा जानो परिशिरोऽन्यसेत्.
Inhale. Rise up. The next asana is Marichi Asana. With both the legs extended forward, bring the right leg heel to the perineum, knees raised to the chest. Wrap the hands around as you lean forward, head to the knees. Visualize Sage Marichi in your inner space.
उत्तानपादं क्रोञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Inhale, rise up. Now, the next asana is Mahamudrasana. Drop the raised knee to the ground. Gaze to the nose as you lean forward, head to the knees, engage all the three bandhas, holding the left feet with both the hands. In your inner space.
महामुद्रां प्रवक्ष्यामि तन्त्रेऽस्मिन् मम वल्लभे.
Inhale, rise up now. Bring the right leg forward now. Left leg heel to the perineum, knee raised to the chest. Wrap the hands around. Interlace the fingers at the back. Visualize Sage Marichi Asana, Marichi in the inner space as you engage Moola Bandha, and the japa is Mahasadashivoham.
उत्तानपादं क्रोञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Inhale. Now the next asana is Mahamudrasana. Drop the raised knee onto the ground. Lean forward as you bring the head to the knees, holding the foot with both the hands. Engage Mahamudra Bandha.
महामुद्रां प्रवक्ष्यामि तन्त्रेऽस्मिन् मम वल्लभे।
Inhale. Now the next asana is Bhadrasana 2. Now bring both soles of the feet together, heels close to the perineum. Interlock the finger, bring it and the other toes. Now gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
गुल्फौ दर्शनस्यातः सीवन्त्याः पार्श्वयोः क्षिपेत्।
The next asana is Gwadipavasana as you extend the legs forward. Now heels apart, toes together, bring both the hands on the respective knees. Engage Mool Bandha and Jalanda Bandha as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space, gaze to the nose.
पूर्व चरपट चौक कक्ष्यो सोजी वाही विधियो कीजे सोजी।
Release the Jalanda Bandha. Now again sitting with soles of the feet together, bring the feet closer, heels close to the perineum. Now as you hold the soles of the feet and place the elbows on the ground, head on the ground, visualize Yoni Mandala in your inner space.
दो पकतले संपट करे एड़ी मेड़ के ढिंग धरे।
Inhale, rise up. The next asana is Midakipasana as we sit with the soles of the feet together, extended forward, toes apart, heels together, both the hands extended sidewise. Now as you bring the forehead on the ground behind the heels, visualize Swamiji in your space performing Midakipasana.
पूरब विधि परिपक्तली संपुट शोल एड़ी मिली राशे।
Inhale, rise up. Again with the soles of the feet together, heels close to perineum. Now bring the heels apart, hands underneath, bend down, lean forward. Now gaze to the nose as you touch the throat to the toes. Siddha Samadhi Asana.
दो पकतली संपट करे सोले मेढ़ आका में धरे।
Inhale. The next asana is Chinnakipasana as again you sit with the soles of the feet together, heels close to the perineum, open the feet like a book, elbows on the respective knees, gaze to the nose, visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दो बगागी एड़ी धरती मगिवा मेढ़ लगावे।
Inhale. Now Charpat Chaukasana as you sit with soles of the feet together, heels close to perineum. Place both the hands on the respective knees, pulling the knees onto the ground lightly. Engage Mool Bandha or Dhyan Bandha as you gaze to the third eye, Swamiji in your inner space.
दो पकतली संपुट धारे आगा नेकर चारे पसारे।
Now release the Udyan Bandha. The next asana is Bhairavasana as you sit with toes tucked, heels up. Bring the knees wide apart onto the ground. Hands in Bindu Mudra. Place it on both the knees, respective knees. Gaze to the third eye. Engage Mool Bandha, Udyan Bandha and visualize Lord Kala Bhairava in your inner space.
गुल्फौ संपीठे चान्योन्यं विक्रमेणोत्थितं शनैः जान्वो पार्श्वगतौ हस्तौ दण्डवद्भैरवासनम्।
Inhale and release the legs. Now the next asana is Samanasana. Bring the left heel close to the perineum. Right leg, bring it to the chest, holding it with both the hands. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
समानासनमावक्षे सिद्धमन्त्रादिसाधनात्।
Now bring the raised knee on the top of the shoulders. Now raise the other leg forward. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space as you perform Apanasana.
केवलं पादमेकञ्च स्कन्धे चारोपि ततः।
Then lower the legs down. The next asana is Samanasana on the other side as you bring the left heel close to the perineum. Lift the left feet towards the chest. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
समानासनमावक्षे सिद्धमन्त्रादिसाधनात्।
Now bring the left leg on the top of the shoulder. Raise the right leg forward. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
केवलं पादमेकञ्च स्कन्धे चारोपि ततः।
Lower the legs down. The next asana is Gomukhasana. Place the left leg on the ground, right leg on the top. Now interlace the fingers, place it on the top knee, gaze to the nose, visualize cow in your space. The new pranayama is Kari pranayama. The japa is Om Nithyanandoham.
सव्ये दक्षिणगुल्भं तु पृष्ठपार्श्वे नियोजयेत्.
The next asana is Anushyasana. Seated same as in Gomukhasana. Bring both the hands in Pranamudra. Hold the big toe of the opposite leg. Gaze to the nose. As you engage Mool Bandha, Jalandhar and Mool Dhyana Bandha, visualize Rishika Anushya in your inner space.
दक्षिण को ढोनी चोठाने बाबूता के ऊपर आने.
Now release the Dhyana Bandha. The next asana is Anushasana 2. As you interlace the fingers at the back, lean forward, gaze to the nose. As you bring the nose to the ground, visualize Rishika Anushya in your inner space.
जीमना गोदा की संधि ब्रिडा वागोड़ा की संधि.
Inhale, rise up. The next asana is Garudasana. As you bring the left heel to the perineum, right knee raised, heel, feet on the ground. Now the hands on the respective knees. Gaze to the nose as you visualize Lord Garuda in your space. Keep performing Siddhkari Pranayama.
डावो पगमोड़ी एडी माहिलो गुल्भ मूलद्वारनी चाहिए.
The next asana is Naradasana. As you sit on the left heel, perineum on the left heel, interlace the fingers at the back. Twist on your right side, elbows on the knees, gaze to the third eye, visualize sage Narada in your inner space.
पिष्ट जवान पगदली केरी भूपरिता ही लगावे फेरी.
Now untwist your body. Now the next asana is Matsya Pitakasana. As you bring the left feet on the top of the right thigh, hold the big toe of right leg with right hand, hold the chin up with the left hand. Now gaze to the nose, visualize Matsya, the fish incarnation of Vishnu. The japa is Om Nithyanandoham Siddhkari Pranayama.
वामेन वामांगुष्ठन्तु गृहीतं मत्स्यपीठकम्.
Now relax. Now the next asana is Gomukhasana. On the other side, as you bring the right leg on the ground, left on the top, interlace the fingers, place it on the top knee, gaze to the nose, visualize cow in your space as you engage Mulabandha, and the pranayama is Siddhkari Pranayama.
सव्ये दक्षिणगुल्भं तु पृष्ठपार्श्वे नियोजयेत्.
Now the next asana is Anushasana. With seated in the same position of Gomukhasana, hands in Pranamudra, hold the big toe of the opposite leg. Gaze to the nose, engage Mulbandha and Udyan Bandha. Visualize Rishika Anushya in your space as you perform Siddhkari Pranayama.
दक्षिण को ढोनी चोठाने बाबूता के ऊपर आने.
Now, the next asana is Anushasana 2. From the same seated position, interlace the fingers at the back. Now lean forward, gaze to the nose as you bring the forehead on the ground. No, touch the nose to the. Now visualize Rishika Anushya in your space.
जीमना गोदा की संधि ब्रिडा वागोड़ा की संधि.
Inhale, rise up. The next asana is Garudasana. As you bring the left heel to the perineum, right knee heel to the perineum, left knee raised to the chest, hands on the respective knees, gaze to the nose, visualize Lord Garuda in your inner space, keep performing Siddhkari Pranayama.
डाबो पगमोड़ी एडी माहिलो गुल्भ मूलद्वारनी चाहिए.
Relax. The next asana is Naradasana. As you sit with the right on the right heel, interlace the fingers behind the neck, twist on your left side, gaze to the third eye, visualize sage Narada in your inner space.
पिष्ट जवान पगदली केरी भूपरिता ही लगावे फेरी.
Now untwist your body. The next asana is Matsya Pitakasana. Now bring the right feet on the top of the left thigh. Hold the left feet, big toe with the left prana mudra. Hold the chin with the right hand. Gaze to the nose. Visualize Matsya, the fish incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Perform Siddhkari Pranayama.
वामेन वामांगुष्ठन्तु गृहीतं मत्स्यपीठकम्.
Now relax. Extending both of legs forward in front. We'll be performing Matsyendrasana. As you bring the left feet on the right leg, lift the right knee, feet on the ground, twist and bring the left elbow on the right knee, hand touching the ears, right hand at the back on the ground, gaze to the third eye, visualize Masindranatha in your inner space.
उदरं पश्चिमाभासं कृत्वा तिष्ठति यत्नतः नम्राङ्गं वामपादं हि दक्षजानोपरि न्यसेत्.
The next asana is Kubhasana. As you hold the right toe with the in a prana mudra with the left hand, bring the right hand on the ears, gaze to the third eye, visualize camel in your inner space.
आसन को गुण झोलो जाए.
Next asana is Matsendrasana 2 as you drop the right hand on the ground at the back. Now gaze to the third eye as you perform Matsendrasana 2.
मत्स्येन्द्रपीठं जठरप्रदीप्तिं प्रचण्डरुक्मण्डलखण्डनास्त्रम्.
Now untwist your body with both the legs extended forward. Now bring the right feet on the left thigh and left knee raised, twist on the left side, right elbow on the left knee. Gaze to the third eye, visualize Matsendranatha in your inner space.
उदरं पश्चिमाभासं कृत्वा तिष्ठति यत्ततः.
The next asana is Kubhasana. As you bring the right hand in Pranamudra, hold the big toe of the left hand on the ears, gaze to the third eye, visualize camel in your inner space.
आसन को गुण झोलो जाए.
And draw the left hand on the back on the ground. Now visualize Matsyendranatha in your inner space as you perform Matsyendrasana 2.
मत्स्येन्द्रपीठं जठरप्रदीप्तिं प्रचण्डरुक्मण्डलखण्डनास्त्रम्.
Now untwist your body. Now place the legs into Padmasana. Now hands on the respective knees. Engage all the three bandhas. Gaze to the nose. Visualize Lord Shiva in your space as you perform Sitali Pranayama.
आसनं द्विधं प्रोक्तं पद्मं वज्रासनं तथा.
Now release Dhyana Bandha. The next asana is Padmasana 2 as you bring both the hands in Pranamudra holding the big toe of the opposite leg. Gaze to the nose, visualize yourself as Goddess Parvati, consort of Shiva, engaging Moola Bandha, and the japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उत्तानो चरणो कृत्वा उरु संस्थो प्रयत्नतः.
Now the next asana is Kukkutasana. As you still be seated in the Padmasana, place both the hands between the thighs and calves, place the palms on the ground, lift the legs off the ground. As you balance the body, visualize rooster in your inner space. The japa is Om Nithyananda Sadashivoham. The pranayama is Sahaja Pranayama.
पद्मासनं संस्थाप्य नान्वरोरन्तरे करौ.
Now the next asana is Baddhakeki asana. As you still be seated in the Padmasana, bring both the hands on the ground in front. Now rotate the fingers facing towards the body. Lean forward as you bring the elbows side of the navels and lift the body by lifting off the knees off the ground.
धरामष्टभ्यकरद्वेन तत्कूर्पति स्थापितानाभिपार्श्वः.
The next asana is Mayurasana. Now place both the hands on the ground in front, palms facing towards the body. Now lean forward as you bring the elbows side of the navels. As you balance the body and lift the feet off the ground. Visualize peacock in your inner space.
अथ वक्षे महादेव मयूरासनम् उत्तमम्.
Now lower your body down. Next asana is Makarasana. Hands interlaced at the back, feet open wide sides. Visualize crocodile in your inner space.
अध्यासिष्यते हृदयं निधाय भूमौ च पादौ च प्रसार्यमानौ.
The next asana is Salabhasana. As you place both the hands side of the chest, now forehead on the ground. Now lift the legs and knees off the ground as you perform Salabhasana, visualizing Swamiji in your inner space.
अध्यासचेते करयुग्मवक्षो भूमिमोष्टभ्यकरयोस्तराभ्याम्.
The next asana is Ustrasana. As you hold the feet with the respective hand, lower it, bring it towards the ground from the side of the hips. Visualize camel in your space as you engage Mula Bandha.
अध्यासचेते पदयुग्मव्यस्तं पृष्ठे निधायापि धृतं कराभ्याम्.
The next asana is Dhanurasana. As you still holding the feet with the respective hand, simultaneously lift the chest and the legs up. Visualize Shiva's bow in your space as you gaze to the third eye.
प्रसारे पादौ भुजदण्डरूपौ करौ च पृष्ठे धृतपादयुग्मम्.
Lower your body down. Sit in Bhagavān. Now place both the hands on the respective knees. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize Swamiji in your face.
उल्टा मोड़ी पाँव तो वैसे बहुरो जगति करे एक ऐसे.
The next asana is Gohyasana. Now place both the hands on the ground in front, shoulder width apart, interlace the fingers. Now bring the head onto the ground, hands supporting the head. Now hips high, bring the feet closer and lift the feet off the ground as you bring the knees to the chest, try to touch the knees to the chin.
दो हाथ की कहुनी जोगी पुनः कलाई जाने दोई.
Now from this position, straight lift the body, lift the legs up, gaze to the nose, visualize Swamiji in space as you perform Sirsasana.
विपरीतं मण्डलं च द्विधैव विदितं हिनः.
Now nicely, slowly, lower your body down. Bring the legs forward, legs extended forward. Now we'll be starting the new pranayama, Bhastrika pranayama, which is rapid, forceful exhalation of air outside. Now hold the calves with both the hands. Now lift the feet up towards the sky as you bring head to the knees. Visualize Swamiji in your space. Engage Mula Bandha.
दो हाथ पग बाहर आने घोड़ा तरे काक सीठाने.
The next asana is Parighatana. Now bring the legs at 45° at front, raised up, hands at the back holding the shoulders, gaze to the third eye, visualize mace in your inner space and keep performing Bhastrika pranayama.
उत्तानशयनं कृत्वा पादौ मिलित्वा प्रसार्य.
The next asana is Naukasana. Again bring the legs forward straight up at 45°, hands back to the ground, visualize both inner space as you gaze to the third eye.
उत्तानशयनं कूर्पराभ्यां भूमिं वष्ट्रभ्याम्.
Next asana is Rudrasana. As you bring the soles of the feet together, hands underneath, holding the feet, bring the feet to the chest, gaze to the nose as you visualize Lord Rudra in your inner space.
पगतले संपुट करी हाथस्य पग उचाई.
The next asana is Unmukshpitasana 2. Now, as you bring the feet on the ground, knees up, lower the body down. Now place the hands behind the heels. Now lift the body up, hip up and perform engage Mula Bandha and Jalandhar Bandha.
ऊर्ध्वे च जानुनी कृत्वा शवित्वोर्ध्वमुखं तथा.
Now lower your body down with your legs and spread. Slowly inhale and mentally force the air across the body as we perform Savasana.
उत्तानं शववद्भूमौ शयनं तु शवासनं. शवासनं श्रान्तिहरं चित्तविश्रान्तिकारणम्.
Yes. Now slowly come down to your body and start to wiggle your fingers, your hands, legs, ankles, elbows. Now rock your knees to the chest as you hold with both hands rocking side to side. Now as you rock on the side and be seated in the comfortable seated position. Now we have successfully completed first 108 asana sequence. Congratulations. Now we'll be moving on with next 208 asanas. The next asana is Yatha Sanishthasana. Now as you sit with in any comfortable position that brings ease to your physical and mental space. That is Yatha Sanishthasana. The pranayama is Samana Kumbhaka, which is inhaling, visualizing flame or heat up along the spine towards the navel center. Now bring index and thumb in Bindu Mudra as you place it on the respective knees. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space. The japa will be Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham throughout next 200 asanas.
पर्यङ्कं तत्समाख्यातं यथसंस्थं यथा स्थितिः.
Yes, the next asana is Samanasana. As you sit with the same comfortable seated position, hands in Bindu Mudra. Now take a deep, long inhalation. Hold. Then take prolonged inhalation. And then exhale.
इदानीं गर्भिणीनां योगाभ्यासो यथा लघु.
Then yes, the next asana is Muktasana. As you bring the left foot against the genital and right foot on the top of the left. Now place the hands facing downward on the knees. Gaze to the nose, visualize Swamiji in space. Visualize yourself as a sage liberated by the SPH.
निबीड्य सीविनीं सूक्ष्मां दक्षिणेतरगुल्फतः.
The next asana is Siddhasana. Now maintain the same seated position as Muktasana. Switch the gaze to the third eye. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
स्थानुसंयमितेन्द्रियो चलदृशा पश्यन् भ्रुवोरन्तरं चैतन्मोक्षकपातभेदजनकं सिद्धासनं प्रोच्यते.
The next asana is Siddhyasana. Maintaining the same position as Siddhasana. Switch the gaze to the nose and gaze in the front on the ground. Now engage Mahamudra Bandha. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
वामपादके इडीजानो श्रीवनिमतिता सुकोठानो.
Inhale. The next asana is Rudrasana 2. Now keep the legs in the same position as Siddhasana. The next asana, as you place both the legs in the same position as Siddhyasana, rotate the hands on the top of the knees in Bindu Mudra. Gaze. Switch the gaze to the third eye. Visualize yourself as Lord Rudra, the fierce dimension of Shiva.
वामचरण परिदक्षिण राखे एकजुगति ऐसे विधि राखे.
As you relax, we'll be moving on to the next asana, which is Santadhanasana. Maintaining the same position as Rudrasana 2, switch the gaze to the nose. Visualize embody tranquility and an unshakable nature.
आसन की गुण मन की चंचलता मीट।
The next asana is Siddhasana 2, with maintaining the same. Maintain one heel on the top of the other. Bring both the hands at in front of the navel as you cup the one arm on the top of the other, resembling the lotus flower in Samputa Mudra. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
ऋजुकाय समासीना सिद्धासनमुदीरितम्।
The next asana is Bandha Yoni Asana. Now, with the same seated position, we'll be performing Sanmukhi Mudra. Now, bring the little finger below the lower lip, ring finger above, index finger closing the nostril. Now, middle finger closing the nostril, closing the eyes with the index finger, and closing the ears with the thumb.
यत्र मध्ये महादेव बन्धयोन्यासने शृणु यत्कृत्वा खेचरो भूत्वा विचरेदीश्वरो यथा।
Inhale. The next asana is Virasana, as you place one right foot on the left thigh, the left heel to the perineum. Now, bring the both hands in Bindu Mudra. Visualize Swamiji. Embody the space and states of bravery.
एकं पादमथैकस्मिन् विन्यस्योरुणि संस्थितः।
The next asana is Valmiki Asana. Now, in the same seated position, gaze to the third eye. Visualize sage Valmiki, the poet and the author of Ramayana.
दावा पग की बगदली पुनी एड़ी है जो ज।
The next asana is Joni Mudrasana. As you place the palms on the knees, palms facing down. Gaze to the nose. Visualize Yoni Mandala in your space, representing the goddess Devi and Shakti, symbol of creative energy of the universe.
वाम पाद की बगदली जाहि माहिली कोर।
The next asana is Yoni Asana. As you be seated in the same position, switch the gaze to the third eye and visualize Yoni Mandala in your inner space.
योन्यासनं पर्वतेन योगं योगफले नीलं तत्कालफललं तावत् खेचरो यावदेव।
Now the next asana is Bhadrasana 3. As you bring the soles of the feet together, heels close to the perineum. Hold the feet with both the hands. Now gaze to the nose as you visualize Lord Veerbhadra in your inner space, engaging Moolbandha and Udyanabandha.
गुल्भौ च वृषणस्याधः सीवन्त्याः पार्श्वयोः क्षिपेत् सर्वे गुल्भं तथा सर्वे दक्षगुल्भं तु दक्षिणे।
The next asana is Aghorasana. As you be seated with the soles of the feet together, heels to the perineum. Engage Kechari Mudra. Roll the tongue up the roof of the mouth. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize yourself as as Aghori. Now bring the right hand, closing the left nostril. Inhale from the right nostril. Hold and then exhale from the left nostril. Repeating again on the other side and again.
पूर्व कहो भिश्रिका जोई वाही विधियो की जे सोई।
Now relax as we move to the next asana, which is Kaneri Pavasana. Now seated with the same position, heels apart. Bring the elbows on the respective heels. Now bring the chin on the palms, gaze to the nose, visualize yourself as a female elephant drinking water. Engage Moolbandha and Udyanabandha.
बाली पाव आसन कक्ष्यो है जैसे याहू में जाने विधि तैसे।
Inhale. The next asana is Parasana. Now sit with the knees raised. Bring the arms between the thighs and calves. Interlace the fingers. Feet off the ground as you gaze to the nose. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space. The Kumka is Rejika Kumka.
ततोर्ध्वं रेचयेत् वायुं मृदुनिश्वास संयुतम्।
The next asana is Gopi Chandasana. Now, with the soles of the feet together, interlace the fingers in front of the feet, holding the feet. Now, lift the feet towards the chest as you tuck the chin on the hands. Now gaze to the nose, visualize crown, embodying the state and space of a king.
पूर्व विधि भगा का अंगूठा कंठ को पराशे.
The next asana is Udrasana. Now as you sit with the soles of the feet together, hands underneath, holding the feet with both the hands, interlacing with interlocked finger. Gaze to the nose as you bring the soles of the feet to the chest, visualize Swamiji. You're visualizing your body getting freed from any defects.
दो पगदली संपुटटाने उभय हस्त करियोरत हिताने.
Next asana is Vasishtasana. As you lift the leg above the head, visualize Swamiji in your face, excelling in everything.
दो पगदली जोड़ी संपुट करे.
Lower the feet down. Now the next asana is Bhujangasana. As you from the same seated position lift both the legs on the top of the respective shoulders, bring the arms underneath the legs and interlace the fingers around the neck. Visualize cobra in your inner space.
शिरासनं तु विज्ञेयं कक्षासनम् अतः परं ग्रीवासनं च परमं भुजासनं योच्यते.
The next asana is Kalyanasana. Now the same seated position, bring the elbows under the knees and wrap around at the back, palms carved, gaze to the nose, visualize yourself as beautiful and auspicious goddess.
दो हाथ पगों नीच आने तिनको कोड़ा नीचे ठाने.
Now as you lower your legs down, the next asana is Sankatasana. Now bring the left heel and sit on the left heel, the perineum on the heel. Bring the right leg on the top. Hands on the opposite knees as you visualize swan in your inner space.
वामपादं चितेर्मूलं सन्न्यस्य धरणीतले पाददण्डेन जाम्येन वेष्टयेद् वामपादकम्.
The next asana is Dhenukasana. Now from Sankatasana, slide the left heel outside and place both the hands on the top knee. Gaze forward, engage Mulbandha or Dhyanbandha as you visualize cow in your inner space.
अनुषाकीनगर पंचडं बृहीलिन्दगल्यम्नि.
The next asana is Machandrasana. Now place the right feet on the left thigh. Now bring the left feet on the right knee. Now as you twist on your left, bring the left hand, hold the right thigh and right hand on the left knee. Gaze back, gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
वामजंग परिदक्षिणटाने वामहस्तपिष्टे ते आने.
Now untwist your body with the same position of the legs. Hold the big toe of the opposite leg in Prana Mudra. We will be performing Machandrasana 2 as you lean forward, forehead on the ground. Now chest touching the heels. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
प्रथमजी मनोचरण जोजी वामजंग परिराखे सोई.
Inhale. The next asana is Guru Asana. From the same seated position, interlace the fingers. Now place it on the left knee. Engage all the three bandhas. Vijay Swamiji in your inner space.
ऊर्मूलेतरपादस्य कनिष्ठिका प्रदेशगुल्भं संस्थाप्य.
Now we'll be repeating Sankadasana on the other side as you sit on the right heel, left leg on the top of the right. Now place both the hands on the opposite knees. Visualize swan in your inner space.
वामपादं चितेर्मूलं सन्न्यस्य धरणीतले पाददण्डेन याम्येन वेष्टयेद् वामपादकम्.
The next asana is Dhenukasana as you slide the right heel out and place both the hands on the top knee. Visualize yourself as a cow in your space. Engage Mulbandha and Udyanbandha.
Anushaki Nagar Panchadam Rhilindagalямni.
The next asana is Machandrasana. As you bring the left feet on the right thigh, right feet on the left knee. Now, as you twist your body on the right, bring the right hand, hold the thigh of the left, holding the knee, right knee with the left hand. Visualize Swamiji in your face as you gaze to the third eye.
Vamasanga Paradachinatane, Vamahasta Pishteti Saane.
Now untwist your body. Now bring both the hands in Prana Mudra. Hold the opposite big toe. As you lean forward, touching the heels to the chest. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
Pratamaji Manacharna Jujoyi, Vamachanga Parirake Soyi.
Inhale. The next asana is Guru Asana. Interlace the fingers. Place it on the right knee. Now engage all the three bandhas. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
Urmulaitra Padasya Kanishtika Pradesha Kulbham Samstapya.
Release all the bandhas. Now the next asana is Parshvasana. As you sit with feet on the ground, heels, knees to the chest. Now hold the opposite knees, gaze to the third eye, tongue in Kechari Mudra. Vijay Swamiji in your space, and the pranayama is Ujjayi Pranayama.
Adatele Bhumo Nidhaya Jan Nursi Nidhaya.
The next asana is Bodha Shukasana. From the same position, hold the opposite wrist. Now place the chin onto the knees, gaze to the nose as you perform Kechari Mudra, and the pranayama Ujjayi Pranayama as you inhale, like making a sound of ocean.
Do Pagdali Bhuparidhare Kurma Hiliya Sekare.
The next asana is Kurakatasana. From the same seated position. Now bring the arms under the knees and hold the opposite elbows. Now bring the feet closer, gaze to the nose, Vijay Swamiji in space as you engage Moolabandha.
Do Hath Pag Bahar Lyave Goda Niche Le Taharave.
The next asana is Sumati Asana. From the same seated position. Now bring the right foot over the left, toes facing upward, gaze to the nose, visualize great sage Sumati in your inner space.
Mooladwari Dharti Parithane Dava Pakaparita Siptaane.
Now, the next asana is Dandasana. As you extend both the legs forward, toes facing up, interlace the fingers and place it above the head. Engage Mahamudra Bandha, gaze to the nose, perform Kechari Mudra as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
Idanim Garbhini Nam Yoga Bhyaso Yatha Laghu.
The next asana is Arambhasana. Now with the same seated position, legs extended forward, hands in Prana Mudra. Hold the respective big toe. Lean forward as you bring the head to the knees. Inhale through the left nostril, then exhale from the right. And this is Nadi Shodhana.
दो पग मिलीवा पसारी पगा का अंगूठा पकड़ी लीलाट गोड़ा लगावे.
Inhale and rise up. The next asana is Vidokasana. Now, as you sit with the legs extended, now bring the knees slightly up. Now, bring the shoulders down and wrap the hands in and around the leg as you hold the soles of the feet. Gaze to the third eye, Vijay Swamiji in your inner space.
प्रथम बेसी दो पाव पसारी कुछ उर्द को करुड़ो डारे.
Now, the next asana is Jalandhar Pavasana. As you sit with the soles of the feet together, legs extended forward. Now, bring the hands under the legs, palms facing up. Now, bring the chin, mouth, and nose on the heels. Gaze to the nose, Swamiji. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दो एड़ी में लिखे दीजिए हाथ पसारी.
Inhale. Now, the next asana is Urdhva
Sit and extend both the legs out, lifting one foot behind the neck and lean forward and down as in Paschimottanasana. Perform the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space as you engage the Mula Bandha. पश्चिमतानवत् संस्थितिं कृत्वा एकं पादं ग्रीवायां धृत्वा तिष्ठेत् ऊर्ध्वपश्चिमतानं भवति. The next asana is the Anantasana. Now, maintaining the same position, lie on your back with the right leg behind your neck. Hold your foot with your left hand from the top of your head. Straighten your body and concentrate on the prana moving from Mooladhara to the Brahmarandra. Gaze at the tip of your nose. Uttana Shaini Ekekam Paigiri Bhajam Vinyasya.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Next asana is Ankushasana. Now from Anantasana, lean on one side on the elbows of the right leg. Touch the feet with the right hand. Gaze to the nose, Vijay Swamiji, in your inner space. Feel the complete control.
उत्तानशैते एकैकं पादं ग्रीवायां कुर्वन्.
Now the next asana is Vrasana. As you lie down on your back, bring the knees to the chest. Now encircle the knees, holding it with both the hands, left and right. Visualize Swamiji in a space.
उत्तानशयनं जानुनि हृदये पष्टम्बा जङ्घासहित ऊरुनि करद्वये बद्ध्वा.
Now, as you sit with the legs extended forward, now bring the right leg behind the neck. Lean forward, holding the feet with both the hands as in Paschimottanasana. Now lean forward, Vijay Swamiji in your inner space.
पश्चिमतानवत् संस्थितिं कृत्वा ग्रीवायां पादं धृत्वा तिष्ठेत्.
Now inhale. The next asana is Anantasana. As you lean backward with leg still at the behind the neck, holding the feet with the left hand. Gaze to the nose, Vijay Swamiji in your inner space.
उत्तानशयनि एकैकं पायिग्रीवायां विन्यस्य.
The next asana is Ankushasana. Now as you rest on the elbow of the left hand, holding the left foot with the left hand, right foot with the left hand. Gaze to the nose, Vijay Swamiji in your inner space.
उत्तानशैते एकैकं पादं ग्रीवायां कुर्वन्.
Now rise up, We will be performing Yoga Nidrasana. Now, lie down in your back as you bring both the legs behind the neck one by one, and interlace the fingers at the back of the buttocks. Gaze to the nose, Vijay Swamiji, in your inner space.
पादाभ्यां वेष्टयेत् कंठं हस्ताभ्यां पृष्ठबन्धनं तन्मध्ये शयनं कुर्यात् योगनिद्रा सुखप्रदा.
Now, the next asana is Ananta Atmaramasana. Now, while lying in the back, now legs on the shoulders, interlace the fingers behind the neck, visualize, gaze to the nose as you visualize Lord Vishnu in your inner space.
आत्माराम आसन प्रथम सोधोसोवे.
The next asana is Kochikasana. As you lie down, legs bring the knees to the chest, soles of the feet facing upward, hands on the side extended. Now, gaze to the nose, visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दो हाथ सीधा सा करे, 300 बेसपा करे. Now, how can we do this? Yoga sannyasa can get up and come out, and Vishaka can walk in and go. Continue, man. Just continue. Wait. Instructions.
The next asana is the Jatara Parivriti. This asana consists of 3 steps. We are going to perform all 3 steps on one side and then on the other. Now enter the neutral position by pulling your knees to the chest and extending your arms out at the side at shoulder level. Now drop one knee to the side and extend the opposite leg down. This is the first step. Then bend both knees to the side. The second step. Now extend both legs to the side, hold onto the feet and gaze in the opposite direction. This is the third step. During this asana, visualize Swamiji and perform the Mula Bandha. Now return to the center. As you drop the other knee to the side, both knees to the side, extend the legs, hold the feet and gaze away from the feet.
परिवृत्ति कुक्ष भागे त्रिधा हि परिकीर्तितः बद्धकोणं सुप्तकोणं ऊर्ध्वकोणं तथापि च.
Next up is the Dvipara Pitam. Now lay on your back with the feet flat on the mat and the knees raised. As you hold on to your ankles, push your hips up and gaze to the tip of the nose as you lock your throat in Jalandhara Bandha, performing Murcha Kumbhaka, and visualize yourself as sturdy as a bridge.
प्रतिक्रियायुतं द्वन्द्वपीठे सर्वबलप्रदम्.
Next up is Paryankasana. Now, with the feet flat, knees raised, bring your hands over top of your shoulders, place them on the mat, with the fingers pointing towards your feet, as you raise your entire body up off the mat and visualize yourself as sturdy as stone furniture, breathing in Sahaja Kumbhaka in Paryankasana.
उत्तानशेन मस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिं वष्ट्रभ्य.
Next up is Shvotanasana. Laying on your back, pull your knees towards the chest and place your hands on the shoulders. Then move your hips in a circular motion as you visualize yourself as a dog playfully rolling around on its back.
शवच्छरीरं संस्थाप्य जानुनी सम्मील्य नाभुवानि च.
Next up is the Viparita Karani. As you lay on your back, keep your arms flat on the mat and raise your hips and legs up straight. Move your legs in a circular motion as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space and keep performing Murcha Kumbhaka.
भूतशिरो तत्त्वाखेनजेचरणद्वयं विपरीतकृति चैषा सर्वतन्त्रेषु गोपिता.
Now stop the movement of your legs. In Viparita Karani 2, visualizing Swamiji as you intensify your Jataragni, your digestive fire.
करणी विपरीताख्या सर्वाधिव्याधिनाशिनी नित्यम् अभ्यासयुक्तस्य जाठराग्नि विवर्धनी.
Next up is Langalasana. Now lower your legs down gently. And then bring your hips up again, your feet over top of the head, toes touching the ground above you. Interlock your fingers in Parashu Mudra behind your back, placing your arms flat on the ground as you visualize yourself as a plow.
नरकासने स्थित्वा नासिकाप्रदेशे भूमौ पादपृष्ठे स्थाप्य.
From Langalasana, hold on to the feet above your head. Keep your arms and legs straight. This is Shaita Paschimottanasana, one of the 84 different asanas revealed directly by Lord Paramashiva himself. Visualize Paramashiva and internally chant the Mahavakya.
तानं शयित्वात् कुर्वीत शयितपश्चिमतानकम्.
Next up is Supta Konasana. Bring your hips above the shoulder level and then open your legs wide, still holding onto the feet. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
परिवृत्य कुक्षि भागे त्रिदाहि परिकीर्तितः.
Now join your feet back together, hold onto your ankles, and roll onto your back in Chakrasana as you visualize yourself as a chakra, a wheel.
पूर्वतानं चतुष्पादपीठं वज्रासनं तथा.
Now bring your legs vertically and hold onto the big toes as you then open your legs wide in Supta Prasarita Parangushtasana. Now visualize Swamiji and breathe in Ujjayi Pranayama, making an ocean-like sound with your mouth as you keep the navel region engaged.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
Join your hands and feet together above the body. Keep them vertically in Supta Parangushtasana as you visualize Swamiji.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
From Supta Parangushtasana, cross your legs into Padmasana. Lay flat on your back as you bring your arms over top of your head, holding on to opposite elbows above your head. Gaze to your nose and visualize Matsya, the fish avatar of Lord Vishnu, in Matsyasana.
मुक्तपद्मासनं कृत्वा उत्तानसेनं चरेत्.
We move on to Parasharamasana. From the same position, place the backside of the right hand onto the left palm, palms facing up. Keep the hands above your head in this asana. Gaze to your nose and visualize Lord Rama in your inner space.
प्रथमकरे पद्मासन आचे सुधो सोवे भूपरिवाचे.
Next up is Sarvangasana. As you lay on your back with your legs in Padmasana, raise your hips and your legs up, keeping your hands at the lower back for support. Place your elbows on the ground and raise your legs. As you tuck your chin to the chest and breathe in Murcha Kumbhaka, gaze to your nose and visualize Swamiji.
अतः क्षेत्र संक्षेपात् सर्वांगासनम् उत्तमम्.
We move on to Vrishchikasana. Laying on your back, place one foot on the opposite thigh and pull the opposite knee towards your chest, extending both arms upwards, hooking your hands forward, gazing to your third eye and visualizing yourself as a scorpion.
प्रथमशेन सुधौ शीर्षकेशिकी सन्धि सुदाखे.
Now exchange the position of the feet. Repeat Vrishchikasana on the other side.
प्रथमशेन सुधौ शीर्षकेशिकी सन्धि सुदाखे.
Next up is Vrishaparakshipasana. As you lay on your back, interlock your fingers behind your neck and lift both legs off the ground, alternating, pulling one knee against your chest back and forth without putting your feet down. Now visualize Swamiji and calmly breathe through your nose in Sahadra Kumbhaka.
उत्तानशयनं कृत्वा अङ्गुलिभिः कन्द्रां बद्ध्वा.
Next up is Maruttanasana. Laying on your back with the hands relaxed by your hips on the ground. Pull one knee against the respective ear, alternatingly, again and again, as you visualize Swamiji.
सोत्तानवत्सं स्थितिः कृत्वा जानुद्वयं पर्यायेन कर्णयोः संस्पृशेत्.
Next up is Vrikasana. As you lay on your back, place your feet flat, raise your knees, and then stand up. Lay back down again and again as you visualize yourself as a wolf.
उत्तानशयनं कृत्वा पादतलाभ्यां भूमिं धृत्वा.
Next up is Luthasana. Now lay down on your back and then kick your legs up, rolling over completely again and again as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space, and finally lay down in a prone position on your stomach.
उत्तानशयनं पादौ शिरमुल्लङ्घ्य भूमौ स्थापयित्वा.
As you lay on your stomach, keep your hands next to the shoulders and contract your lips as you make a whistling sound while inhaling, visualizing yourself as a chariot carrying warriors into a battle for dharma on your chariot back in Saradhasana.
निब्जशयनं कृत्वा नाभिं भूमौ निधाय.
The next asana is Dehalyulanganasana. From the prone position, push your body up into a plank position and jump your feet in between the hands back and forth as you visualize yourself going beyond body and mind in Dehalyulanganasana.
हस्तद्वयं बद्ध्वा तन्मध्यचरणद्वयम् उड्डानैव बहिरानीय.
Next up is Jyotisha. From a standing position, lean forward and down, place your hands on the mat, and walk around on hands and feet as you visualize yourself as a wise 60-year-old elephant.
अथ जात्यासनं वक्षे येन जातिस्मरो भवेत्.
Next up is Lolitika Karana. Stand with your knees bent, the feet pointing outwards, and then raise your arms to shoulder level. Bend your elbows and move your arms around the body as you bend backwards and move your head in all directions. Next up is Sarapasana. Now tie your feet with a rope, if you have a rope available, and then stand straight on the mat, keeping your hands on the thighs, elbows close to the body. Stand straight as a rod as you visualize your Kundalini Devi raising and curling upward around your body. Breathe calmly through your nose in Sahadra Kumbhaka.
अथ सर्पासनं वक्षे वायुपाणाय केवलं शरीरं दण्डवत्तिष्ठेत् रज्जुबन्धस्तु पादयोः.
Now lean forward and down. Place your hands on the mat and step onto your fingers with your toes. Hold onto your feet from the front as you walk around on the mat, visualizing yourself as a camel in Ushtra Sadhanasana.
मुष्टिकनिष्ठिका प्रदेशेन भूमौ निधाय उपरि पादतले संस्थाप्य.
From the same position, now hold the feet from the outside. Walk around, visualizing yourself as a horse in Ashvasana.
मुष्टिकनिष्ठिका प्रदेशेन भूमौ निधाय उपरि पादतले संस्थाप्य.
Next up is Kapota Nitakasana. Now stand straight with your feet together, interlace your hands behind in Parashva Mudra, and pull your hands down towards your calves, opening up your chest widely as you visualize yourself as a soaring bird diving.
पादतले भूमौ निधाय पृष्ठभागेन हस्तौ जङ्घापर्यन्तं नीत्वा.
Next up is Tala Pushpa Putam Karana. Now stand tall with the palms together in Namaskara Mudra. Now gently bend your knees and keep the toes pointing outwards. Simultaneously, open up your palms and raise one heel off the ground, slightly lowering the waist and shoulder of the respective heel, visualizing yourself holding a bouquet of flowers and offering it to Paramashivam. The next asana is Khadgasana. Now visualize yourself as rhinoceros, gaze to your nose, lay down on your stomach, and then jump your feet up to your hands, stand up and keep your hands in Namaskara Mudra in front, symbolizing the horn of the rhinoceros.
आसनं कृत्वा पादतलाभ्यां भूमिं धृत्वा.
Next up is the Uttanottanam. Hold weights if you want to intensify this asana. Now sit down on the ground and stand back up again and again as you gaze to your nose and visualize Swamiji.
पुनः पुनः उत्थातव्यम् अस्थितव्यम् इति उत्थानोत्थानं भवति.
Next up is Musadasana. Stand straight, raise your arms up above the head and jump repeatedly as you visualize yourself as a mace.
सरलं स्थित्वा ऊर्ध्वं बाहु नयेत्.
Next up is Uchchiya Shakasana. From a standing position, pull the sole of one foot towards your chest. Sit down and stand back up on the other leg, alternating the feet again and again as you gaze to your nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
एकैकं पादतलं कुक्षौ निधाय.
Next up is Parashvajanukarana. Now keep one knee bent with the toes pointing to the side. Raise the other knee against your chest, encircling the leg with your arm, the hand in a fist. Place the other hand on the inner respective thigh with the fingers pointing inwards. The next asana is Tandavasana. If you want to intensify this asana, you can hold weights. As you visualize yourself fiercely dancing as Lord Shiva, extend both arms and one leg forward, sit down and stand back up.
एकेन पादेन स्थातव्यं ताण्डवासनं भवति.
Next up is Brahmanasana. Now, place the left foot on the inner opposite thigh, stand erect on the mat like a rod, keep your hands by the sides and visualize yourself being blessed by Lord Brahma.
ब्राह्मणासनमावक्षे यत्कृत्वा ब्राह्मणो भवेत्.
Next up is Garudasana 3. Now stand tall, wrap the left leg over and around the right leg and bring the left arm below the right, the hands together in Namaskara Mudra, visualizing yourself as Lord Garuda.
उत्थानकूर्मपीठं च सिंहस्गारुडमेव च.
Now bring the left foot on the right thigh and keep your hands relaxed by the side in Ekapadasana as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दक्षाङ्घ्रिं वामपादस्य जङ्घोपरि निधाय च.
We move on to Dhruvasana. Now stand on the right leg, hold the left big toe and straighten out to the side as you rotate your body quickly on the standing leg, visualizing yourself as a North Pole star.
एकेन हस्तेन हस्तेन दण्डरूपस्य एकस्य पादस्य अग्रं धृत्वा
Next up is Trivikramasana. Now pull the left foot behind your neck and stand straight on the mat as you get ready to perform the 3 steps of Lord Vishnu. You can pull the leg towards your chest. If you can, bring it behind your neck and hold on to a solid object for stability as you then sit down and stand back up.
ग्रीवायां पादं संस्थाप्य स्थातव्यम् उत्थातव्यं त्रिविक्रमासनं भवति.
Now repeat Parashvadranukarana on the other side. Pull the other knee towards your chest with the other leg slightly bent, toes pointing outwards. Now visualize yourself fiercely dancing as Lord Shiva. As you extend the other leg, sit down and stand back up in Tandavasana on the other side.
एकेन पादेन स्थातव्यं ताण्डवासनं भवति.
Now repeat Brahmanasana on the other side. Pull the right foot to the inner opposite thigh and visualize yourself being blessed by Lord Brahma.
ब्राह्मणासनमावक्षे चित्कृत्वा ब्राह्मणो भवेत्.
Now intertwine your arms and legs with the right foot over top, repeating Garudasana 3 on the other side, visualizing yourself as Lord Garuda.
उत्तानकूर्मपीठं च संहिमस्गारुडमेव च.
Now repeat Ekapadasana. Place the right foot on the left thigh, hands by the side, visualizing Swamiji.
दक्षाङ्घ्रिं वामपादस्य जङ्घोपरि निधाय च.
Now repeat Dhruvasana, the poster posture, as you rotate, standing on the left leg, holding onto the right big toe, visualizing yourself as the North Poster.
एकेन हस्तेन दण्डरूपस्य एकस्य पादस्य अग्रं धृत्वा
Now repeat Trivikramasana on the other side. Pull the leg behind your neck if you can. Otherwise, keep it at your chest. And then sit down and stand back up, visualizing Lord Vishnu as you perform the 3 steps of Lord Vishnu.
ग्रीवायां पादं संस्थाप्य स्थातव्यम् उत्थातव्यं त्रिविक्रमासनं भवति.
Next up is Samana. Now stand on the mat with the heels together, toes slightly pointing outwards, keeping your arms slightly extended away from the body, fingers pointing one by one. In this neutral pose, calm down after this intense sequence of asanas as we get ready to continue with the final 100 asanas of this sequence, starting off with Godak Anjali Asana. Now stand erect and then bend forward, bringing both hands underneath the knees, interlocking the fingers in Parasha Mudra, as you then sit down in a squatting position and bring the finger lock towards your navel. Visualize the great sage Godagna, founder of the Natha Yoga Hindu Sampradaya, and breathe in Jiva Chala Kumbhaka, inhaling all the way, holding your breath, and by the force of your will, moving the prana up and down and through the limbs of your body.
प्रथम हि बोहोवे बाहुरीनी च पुनिहोवे.
The next asana is Kanchi Asana. Now, insert your hands between the thighs and calves and wrap them around behind your butt, interlocking the fingers behind in Padasha Mudra. Keep your chest straight as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
ऊरुमध्यात् हस्तो निवेश्य नितम्बं धृत्वा.
Next up is Bhairu Asana. Now bring the feet together, sit in a squatting posture with your heels touching the perineum. Sit straight and interlock your fingers behind in Parasha Mudra. As you gaze to the navel, visualize Bhagavān Kala Bhairava, the Lord of Time.
दो पग की सज्जा की माहिली कोर मिला की फना पानी उकड़ मोड़ वैसे.
Next up is Varahasana. Squat down all the way to the ground. Keep your feet together with the toes apart. Bring your elbows up close to your head. Join the palms behind in Anjali Mudra. with the fingers pointing downwards. As you gaze through your nose and visualize yourself as Varaha, the boar avatar of Lord Vishnu.
पागदरी की माहिली कोर मिलाई भना पानी उकड़मो डबई से.
Next up is Pripittasana. With your heels touching, hold on to the big toes and raise your hips to the same level as your knees as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
पार्श्वद्वय सम्मील्य स्थित्वा नितमं जानुप्रदेश आनीय.
The next asana is Bakasana. Now place your hands on the mat with the fingers wide. Place your knees on the back of your arms and lean forward, find balance, lift your feet off the ground and balance as you visualize yourself as a crow.
हस्ताभ्यां मौनिमवैष्णभ्यां.
Next up is Sushtanga Kapalayasana. Kneel down and keep your hands flat on the mat, placing your head on the ground and then raising your legs up, crossing them into Padmasana. Gaze through your nose as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
आसन को गुण कपाल आछो होई.
Next up is Guptasana. Sit in a kneeling posture, heels outside the hips, sit on the ground and touch your toes behind your butt. As you place your hands on your thighs, sit with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Gaze through your nose and visualize you are sitting in the secret seat with Paramashiva and Guru in Upanishad as you internally chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
जानोर बोरंतरे पादो कृत्वा पादो च गोपयेत.
Next up is Vrikshasana 2. Now keep your hands on the ground, shoulder width apart, and raise your legs up into a handstand. You can lean against a wall or ask a partner to assist you in performing this asana to purify all the 7 chakras. As you visualize yourself as a tree with deep roots growing into the ground, breathe deeply through your nose and lead the prana along your spine.
सप्त चक्रक्षालनाय वृक्षासन विशेषकान्.
Engage the Mula Bandha, maintain the handstand, gaze to your third eye and push the Tejas energy towards your third eye in Shiva Asana.
दो उपग जोड़ी माही गुल्फ मिलाए.
Next up is Matsyasana 2. Now place your hands on the ground, shoulder width apart, and lower your body from the plank position down and push yourself up again and again, visualizing yourself as a fish in Matsyasana 2.
निब्जं शयनं कुर्वरो पार्श्वभागाय मूर्धकृत्य.
Next up is Salpasana 2. As you lay on your stomach, place your hands on the hips and lift your chest from left to right, visualizing and moving your body like a snake.
निब्जं शयनं कृत्वा हस्तो नितम्बं संस्थाप्य.
Next up is Niralambanasana. As you lay prone on your belly, with your hands in Padma Mudra, the lotus mudra, hold the chin with your hands and keep the legs straight with the toes pointed together as you feel self-supported and completely independent.
कराभ्यां पंकजं कृत्वा तिष्ठेत् कुर्परया सुधीः.
Next up is Chaturasana. As you lay on your stomach, place your hands flat on the mat in front, straighten your arms and bend your knees. As you bring your feet towards your upper back, lift up your head and chest, and visualize yourself as an umbrella protecting your guru from the sun rays.
अर्ध्यासनं स्थित्वा हस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिं धृत्वा.
Next up is Vajrasana. Now sit on your knees with the top of the feet flat on the mat, with the perineum on the heels. As you extend your arms forward, place your palms on the ground and your forehead as well. As you gaze to your nose and visualize yourself as Vajra, the weapon of Indra, symbolizing your indestructibility.
इदानीं गर्भिणीनां योगाभ्यासो यथा लघु.
We move on to Meshasana. Now, with your hands on the ground, push your hips up into Gajasana and alternate striking the ground with your hands as you experience yourself as powerful as a ram.
गजासनं संस्थितो एकैकं बाहुं भूमौ ताडयेत्.
The next asana is Ajasana. From Gajasana, lift your legs up into the air and slowly bring your forehead down to the ground as you visualize yourself as unborn, existing for all eternity.
Gajasana samsthita padadve mantrali kritya.
Now sit in Dhanantarasana. As you sit in a kneeling posture, hold on to the big toes and pull them towards your perineum. Then place your hands on the thighs, gaze to your nose, and visualize Swamiji in your inner space as you again breathe in Ujjayi Pranayama, making an ocean-like sound with your mouth.
Purava vidhi parihata ki kakasi se uphana sharamodi.
Next up is the Angamuttanam. Now interlace your fingers in front and move your arms up, down, left, right in all directions, giving massage to various different joints and muscles of your body. As you then repeat the movement behind your back as well, visualizing Swamiji.
Hasayoho angulir badva hasteor vadhyat sarvangam nishkasahitva.
We move on to Garudasana form. Sit in Vajrasana with your heels under the perineum and then turn your feet sideways, toes pointing outwards, hands on the knees, visualizing yourself as Lord Garuda, flying Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi on his back.
Jangorubhyam dhanam vidya sirakajo dvijanuna.
Next up is Ananda Mandirasana. Now sit with your legs folded back, the toes pointing backwards, the knees wide, hold onto your ankles and push the front of your buttocks on the ground. As you gaze to your third eye, visualize yourself residing in the blissful space of a temple.
Athava Ksheviranatha Anandamandirasanam.
Next up is Mandukasana 2. Sit with your knees wide, the feet overlapping on top of your ankles. Keep your hands under the knees, gaze to your nose, and press your tongue up against the palate of your mouth, catching the nectar of immortality with your frog tongue as you visualize yourself as a frog performing Manduki Mudra. Perform Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha in Mandukasana 2.
Prishtam Sampidya Kulbhabhyam Janvange Sapalayakritihi.
Next up is Narasimhasana. Now keep your toes on the mat, the heels up and together. Place your perineum on the heels, your palms on the ground with the fingers spread, thumbs together. As you gaze to the tip of the nose, stick out your tongue and exhale forcefully. Gaze through your nose and visualize Narasimha, the lion man avatar of Lord Vishnu in Narasimhasana. Next up is Vishlakasana. As you sit on your toes from the same position as before, cover your mouth and nose with your hands. Bring the thumbs underneath the teeth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth as per your capacity in Vishlaka Pranayama. As you gaze to the tip of the nose and visualize yourself as Devi, victorious over all your fears in Vishlakasana.
Dopaka ki thalya ki mahili ko milaji.
Next up is Makarasana. Now keep the soles of the feet together, the top of the feet on the ground. Sitting on your heels, bend your elbows, bring your fingers to your armpits and imitate as if you are a monkey scratching itself, visualizing yourself as a playful monkey as you gaze to your third eye.
Dopakatali Samputa Ane Janike Vishti Bhumi Paritane.
Next up is Vajrasangarasana. Now stand on your toes with the soles of the feet together, the knees spread wide apart, lifted off the ground, and hold on to opposite elbows behind your back. Gaze towards your nose and embody diamond-like strength for you and your Sangha, your spiritual community, in Vajrasangarasana.
Pratama Panapani Hoye Baise, Dobu Edi Gudani Baise.
Next up is Kanjanasana. Now, keep your toes down, ankles crossed behind, and sit on your heels as you place your palms to the side on the mat next to your body. Gaze to your nose and visualize perfect health beyond any and all physical or mental ailments, performing Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha.
खञ्चनासनमाभक्ष्य यद्गत्वा सुस्थिरो भवेत्.
Next up is Kurmasana. With your toes flat, cross your feet and place your perineum onto the back of the heels. Keep your knees wide. On the floor, rest your hands on the knees and make your upper body and neck stiff like the shell of a turtle, gazing through the nose and visualizing a turtle in your inner space with a stable body and mind to live for centuries. In Kurmasana.
गुल्फौ च वृषणस्याधो व्युत्क्रमेण समाहितौ.
Next up is Yogasana. Now, from the same position, relax your upper back and neck, gaze to your nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
गुदं नियम्य गुल्फाभ्यां व्युत्क्रमेण समाहितः.
Next up is Vijyogasana. Now stand on your knees, cross your ankles behind with the feet near opposite knees. Hold your calves with your fingers inside and the thumbs outside. Gaze to your third eye and visualize a space of eternal oneness, Advaita, with your Guru.
घोड़ा वामो बौ होई, घोड़ा आड़ा राखे दोई.
Next up is Ushtrasana 2. Now keep your feet flat and hold on to the heels as you push your hips forward and lean backwards, visualizing yourself as a camel in Ushtrasana 2.
मेरुदण्डग्रन्थिदाढ्य संविपादयिषु पुमान्.
Next up is Jyotisha 2. As you sit with your heels together, the hands on the soles of the feet, slowly lean backwards. Place your elbows down on the mat, followed by the back of your head. Gaze to the nose and experience yourself as a lotus blooming in Jyotisha 2.
दोवु एड़ी संपुट करे सोरे मूलद्वारिते रिधरे.
Next up is Viratasana. As you sit on your knees with the thighs and calves together, lean back and touch your back to the ground, then rise back up again and again. Use the support of your hands if needed as you gaze to your nose and visualize the healing and liberation of all causal, subtle forms of your body in Viratasana.
जङ्घापृष्ठे भूमौ निधाय जङ्घोत्तरयोः ऊरुनि संस्थाप्य.
Next up is Kapotasana. From Viratasana, raise your hips higher, bring your forearms on the mat behind and hold the back of your heels. As you bring your head in between the feet if you can, lean backwards as far as you can as you visualize yourself as a beautiful dove.
मेरुदण्डग्रन्थिदाढ्य संविपादयिषु पुमान्. The next is the Varasana. Now, standing upright on your knees with the toes tucked, hold your arms with the opposite hands and gaze at the tip of your nose. Visualize Paramashiva fulfilling all your boons. Januni bhumo samstapya hastabhyam bahu parasparam dhritva. The next is the Varahasana 2. Now, keeping your knees together and toes tucked, lean forward and bring the elbows to the mat and hands holding the head. Lift the head and thumbs. Suryam Chandram Vedanani Asanani Kathyate.
The next asana is Mundasana. Now kneel down and place your forearms on the ground, holding on to opposite elbows. Then interlock your fingers and place the crown of your head on the mat, supporting your head with your hands as you raise your hips. Walk the feet forward, lift your legs up and straighten them up into a headstand. You can lean against the wall for support if needed. As you gaze through your nose, breathe calmly through the nose in Sahajra Kumbhaka. Perform the Mula Bandha and visualize yourself as a log tree in Mundasana.
Adho mundasanam vakshe sarvesham praninam sukham.
Next up is Andhasana. Now lower your legs down, come to a kneeling posture, and bring your head in between the knees as you bring the elbows outside the knees, holding onto your head. Gaze through your nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space as you inhale through the nostrils and exhale through your mouth in this asana. Perform the Mula Bandha, contract the perineal floor, and internally chant the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
प्रथम पग तले सम टहरावे कोरमा हिली उभे मिलावे.
The next asana is Viparita Shalabhasana. Lay down on your stomach and extend your arms forward, holding weights if you want to intensify this asana. As you then raise your legs and your chest and arms off the ground, visualizing yourself as a locust. Breathe in Sahajra Kumbhaka and perform the Mula Bandha.
शरभासन भेदाश्च नटभेरुण्ड नामके गण्डभेरुण्ड सहिते शीर्षदण्डासनं तथा.
Next up is Kapalasana. As you lay on your belly with your arms at the side, palms facing down, keep your forehead on the ground, your chest on the mat, and lift your legs up together. As you visualize yourself as a skull representing the mind with purified thoughts and the strong will to attain enlightenment in Kapalasana.
कपालं भूमो निधाय ऊर्ध्वं पादौ नजेत्.
Next up is Akasha Kapotasana. As you lay on your stomach, keep your hands by the sides, lift your legs up over your head, and slowly place your feet on the mat in front of your head. Keep your palms flat on the mat. As you place the toes down, visualize yourself as a free and open dove.
उष्ट्रासने स्थित्वा चरणौ भूमेरुत्थाप्य मस्तकोपरि नीत्वा.
Next up is Chatakasana. As you sit in a kneeling posture, lean forward, place your navel on the knees and your forearms flat on the ground in front of you. Visualize yourself as a sparrow as you perform the Mula Bandha.
कूर्परपर्यन्तौ हस्तौ धरामौष्टभ्य.
Next up is Vrishikasana. With your forearms on the ground, raise your hips up and bring your legs over top of your head, touching your toes to the back of your head, visualizing yourself as a scorpion.
विच्छेव पुच्छ प्रतिमां गिर्भार्ष्णे धृत्वा स्वशीर्षे चिबुकं विधार्यकौ.
Next up is Vrishasana. Come to a kneeling posture as you place your perineum onto the right heel, bringing the left foot outside the hip with the toes pointing outwards. Hands in front of the knees. Visualize yourself as a bull and forcefully inhale through your nose in Antaranga Kumbhaka, holding the breath for a short while and then exhaling slowly again through the nose.
याम्य गुल्फे पादमूले वामभागे पदेतरम्.
Next up is Lulasana. Now, from the same position, raise your knees off the mat. Bring the toes of the left foot over top of the right as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
लोलासनं सदा कुर्यात् वायुलोलापघातनात्.
Next up is Vrishasana on the other side. Sit on the left heel with the right foot outside the hip, visualizing yourself as a bull.
याम्य गुल्फे पादमूले वामभागे पदेतरम्.
Next up is Balagunasana. Now, place the toes of the left foot on the ground as you raise the left heel. Sit on the left heel with your perineum and keep the right knee raised towards your chest as you place your hands on top of the respective knees. Visualize Balagunahai, one of the 84 siddhas in your inner space.
आसन को गुण जल विकार जाई.
Next up is Grahasana. Now squat with your feet flat on the mat. Bring your elbows underneath the thighs and wrap your hands around the shins as you hold onto your ankles from the outside. Visualize yourself as the entire planet.
पादतले भूमौ संस्थाप्य जानु मध्ये कुर्परो स्थाप्य.
Now repeat Balagunasana on the other side. Sit on the right heel with the left knee raised against your chest. Visualize Balagunahaya. And don't forget to breathe in Antaranga Kumbhaka.
आसन को गुण जल विकार जाई.
Next up is Utkatasana. Now squat on your toes with the heels up and the knees off the mat. Place your perineum on the heels and your hands on the respective knees. As you keep your spine upright, hold weights if you want to intensify this asana. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
युजस् पिजस् दीयत ऊर्वजानु यत्रासने पादतलद्वयो परि.
Next up is Vajra Sangarasana 2. Now, keep the toes tucked, heels and soles of the feet together, open your legs wide, and hold on to opposite elbows behind your back as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
प्रथम प्राणापानी होय जैसे दोबो एड़ी कुदा निवैसे.
The next asana is Anilasana. From a squatting position, place your hands flat on the mat and step your heels onto your hands. Squatting down, keeping your arms straight, gazing to your nose and visualizing Swamiji in your inner space.
दो हाथ भूमि पर टाने कहनी जाड़ी ना बिलग आने.
The next asana is Parukasana. Now place the back of your hands on the mat with your fingers facing towards your body. Step your feet on top of your hands with your hands wrapped around the feet like a shoe. Walk around on the mat visualizing you're wearing padukas and walking across India.
हस्ततलयोः पादतले कृत्वा तिष्ठेत् गच्छेत् पादुकासनं भवति.
Next up is Kukkutodanasana. As you place your palms on the mat, raise both feet upwards into the air and let them fall back down again and again as you visualize yourself as a rooster.
हस्ततले भूमौ कृत्वा पादतले च ऊर्ध्वमुड्डानं कृत्वा.
Next up is Viparita Nrityasana. As you place your hands on the mat, raise your legs upwards into a handstand and move around on two hands dancing. Feel yourself become free of all inhibitions.
हस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिं वष्टाभ्य ऊर्ध्वपादाग्रे कुर्वन्.
Next up is Kunjarasana. Now keep your feet apart. Place one palm flat on the ground with the arm straight, the other hand on your head. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
अथ पक्षे महादेव कुञ्जरासनम् उत्तमम्.
Place the other hand on the mat, opposite hand towards your head. Repeat Kunjarasana.
अथ पक्षे महादेव कुञ्जरासनम् उत्तमम्.
The next asana is Kadambasana. Now, sit on the ground with your feet flat, the heels close to your body. Hold respective ankles with your hands and lift your feet off the ground. Visualize yourself as a Kadamba tree, to which the Ramayana refers to as having one of the best fruits for ascetics.
पार्श्वेभ्यां भूमिं वष्टभ्य हस्तद्वयेन गुल्फौ धृत्वा.
Next up is Pavana Muktasana. Now, sit with your heels at the perineum. Hold your knees with your hands and press them towards your chest. Visualize any excess vata being released or balanced within your system.
द्वयोस्तु पादयोः पाणिं लात्वा स्वस्थनितम्बके.
Next up is Chakrasana. Sit and lift one leg behind your head and place both hands flat on the mat. Extend the opposite leg up and lift your entire body off the mat as you gaze up to your third eye and visualize yourself as a powerful source of energy.
पूर्वतः चतुष्पादपीठं वज्रासनं तथा.
Next up is Dhanurasana 2. Now, keep one leg extended and hold onto both the big toes with the respective hands in Prana Mudra. Now, pull the other foot towards your ear and visualize yourself as a bow.
पादाष्टोदपाणिभ्यां गृहीत्वा श्रवणावधि.
We move on to Ashtavakrasana. Now lift the left leg over top of the left shoulder, bring the right foot across and hook it on top of the left foot. Lean forward and down, extend both legs to the side, balance on your arms as you visualize yourself as a flying crane.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च.
We move on to Pranasana. As you place the right foot on the left thigh, bring the left foot flat on the ground and bring the left shoulder underneath the left knee as you push the right knee down. Gaze to your third eye and visualize you're immortal, able to exist solely from prana.
एतत् प्रभेदं वक्ष्यामि करोति यस्य चामरः.
The next asana is Parshvamatsendrasana. As you bring the right foot to the left hip, step the left foot over top of the right knee, twist your body around the raised knee, and bring the arm below as you hold your fingers behind your back. Gaze up to your third eye and visualize the great sage and yogi Matsyendranatha, the master of Hatha Yoga.
वामोर्मूलार्पितदक्षपादो जान्वो बहिर्वेष्टितदक्षदोष्णा.
Now repeat Chakrasana on the other side. Bring the other foot behind your head, hands on the ground, lifting up your body as you gaze to your third eye and visualize yourself as a powerful source of energy.
पूर्वतः चतुष्पादपीठं वज्रासनं तथा.
The next asana is Dhanurasana 2. Now hold both big toes in Prana Mudra and pull the other foot towards your ear as you visualize yourself as a bow.
पादाङ्गुष्ठोदपाणिभ्यां गृहीत्वा श्रवणावधि.
Now hook the right foot over top of the right shoulder and the left foot over top of the right, extending the legs to the side, leaning forward, balancing on your arms and visualizing yourself as a flying crane in Ashtavakrasana.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च.
Now repeat Pranasana on the other side with the left foot on the right thigh, right knee raised, right shoulder beneath the right knee, and gazing to your third eye as you visualize yourself being immortal, able to exist from prana.
एतत् प्रभेदं वक्ष्यामि करोति यस्य चामरः.
Next up is Parshvamatsendrasana on the other side. Now bring the left foot to the right hip, right foot over top of the left knee. Twist your elbow around the knee. Hold your fingers behind your back as you visualize Sage Matsyendana.
पार्श्वाभ्यां धृत्यते यास्तु पार्श्वमत्स्येन्द्रमुत्तमम्.
The next asana is Ardha Paschimottanasana. Now keep one leg extended and press the other heel against your perineum as you lean forward and down, holding onto the front foot, bringing your head to the knee as in Paschimottanasana. Now visualize Swamiji and perform the Jivachala Kumbhaka, which is inhaling the prana deeply, holding it and moving it up and down, left and right through your limbs by the force of your will.
एकं पादं प्रसार्य एकं पादस्य पार्श्वनासीवनी सम्पीड्य
Now perform Kranchasana. Bring the left foot outside the hip and hold onto the right foot, extending it up in front of your face with the knee straight, visualizing yourself as a crane.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
Now repeat Ardha Paschimottanasana on the other side. Hold onto the front foot with the opposite foot against your perineum. Lean forward and down. Visualize Swamiji.
एकं पादं प्रसार्य एकं पादस्य पार्श्वनासीवनी सम्पीड्य.
Now repeat Kranchasana. Bring the right foot outside the hip. Hold onto the left foot extended in front of your face. Visualize yourself as a crane, Krancha. And perform the Jivachala Kumbhaka. Move the prana through your limbs by the force of your will alone.
पार्श्वाभ्यां धृत्यते यास्तु पार्श्वमत्यन्त्रमुत्तमम्.
The next asana is Svastikasana. Now sit with the soles of the feet between the thighs and calves. Keep your spine straight, the palms resting on the knees. Gaze to your nose and embody peace, well-being, good fortune, and prosperity as you visualize a swastika in your inner space.
जानुर्भोरन्तरे सम्यक् कृत्वा पादतले उभे.
Next up is Gorakshasana. Maintain Swastikasana and then cover your heels with your hands. As you tuck your chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha, contract the perineal floor in Mula Bandha. Gaze to your nose and visualize the great sage Goraknath, the founder of the Natha Yoga Hindu Sampradaya.
जानुर्भोरन्तरे पादौ उत्तानौ व्यक्तसंस्थितौ.
Next up is Bhagasana 2. Now bring the left heel against the perineum, the right foot on the left thigh, and then gaze to your third eye, visualize Swamiji, meditate on Arihanta, the enlightened one. As you inhale all the way, close your mouth with ring and little fingers, the nostrils with the middle fingers, the eyes with the index fingers, and the ears with the thumbs in Shanmukhi Mudra.
वामपार्श्वगुदं संस्थाप्य दक्षाङ्घ्रिवामजगने.
The next asana is Yogasana 2. Now maintain your feet on top of opposite knees and place the back side of your hands on the ground, palms facing up next to your body. Gaze to your nose, visualize Swamiji as you roll up your tongue and stick it out, inhaling through the rolled up tongue in Kakachanchu Kumbhaka.
उत्तानौ चरणौ कृत्वा संस्थाप्योपरि जानुनोः आसनोपरि संस्थाप्य चोत्तानं करयुग्मकम्.
The next asana is Urdhva Kukutasana. Now, place the palms of your hands on the side next to your body and lift your body up while sitting in Padmasana. Visualize yourself as a rooster as you do so.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्तानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्.
The next asana is Siddha Haratali Asana. Now, sit in Padmasana and place your hands in between the legs. As you maintain the sitting posture on the ground, gaze to your nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space. Breathe in Kakachanchu Kumbhaka.
प्रथम पद्मासन को करे घोड़ासंधि माही करिधरे.
Now push your hands in the ground, gaze to the nose, and visualize yourself as an elegant swan as you balance above the mat in Padmasana, performing Hamsasana.
कुक्कुटासनं स्थित्वा स्कन्धपर्यन्तं ऊरोनि नीत्वा.
Next up is Kadmukasana. Push your hands in between the legs, behind your body as you lean forward and interlock your fingers on the ground behind you, placing your forehead on the mat as you visualize yourself as Pinaka, Lord Shiva's bow.
प्रथम पद्मासन को करें, गोड़ा संधि माही करी धरे.
Next up is Kurmasana 2. Now bring your hands underneath the legs and bend your elbows to hold onto the respective shoulders with your hands in Padmasana as you visualize your turtle having a stable body and mind to live for hundreds of years.
बाई जंग प्रदक्षिण पावा, दाई जंग परिबाई लियावा.
Now, tuck your chin to the chest from the same position. Lock your throat in Jalandhara Bandha, gaze to the nose, and rejoice, knowing you're sitting in Shiva's secret knot posture, Kranti Bhedasana.
अथ पक्षे नीलकंठ ग्रंथिभेदासनं शुभम्.
Next up is Uttana Kurmasana. From the same position, roll onto your back, gaze to your nose. Keep holding onto the shoulders as you embody a turtle laying on its back.
कुक्कुटासन बंधस्थं कराभ्यां धृतगंधरं पीठं कूर्मवदुत्तानम् एतदुत्तान कूर्मकम्.
Next up is Pangu Kukkutasana. As you bring both hands between the legs, place one palm flat on the mat, hold its wrist, and lift your body off the ground, visualizing yourself as a rooster.
कुक्कुटासन स्थित्वा एकेन हस्तेन अन्यस्य निबन्धं धृत्वा.
Now place the other hand on the mat, hold its wrist, and lift your body off the ground as you visualize yourself as a rooster in Pangu Kukkutasana on the other side.
कुक्कुटासन स्थित्वा एकेन हस्तेन अन्यस्य मणिबन्धं धृत्वा.
Next up is Grittasana. As you sit in Padmasana, place your elbows on the toes. Interlock your fingers in Parashva Mudra. Rest your chin on the fingers as you press your thumb against the throat. Now, visualize you have gone beyond all greed and covetous.
जानोर्भोरन्त्रे पादौ उत्तानो व्यक्तसंस्थितौ.
Next up is Padmasana 3. Sit in Padmasana and place one hand over the other with the palms facing up. Now, keep your spine straight, gaze to the nose, engage all three bandhas as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
उत्तानो चरणो विधाय विधिवत् शक्ति स्थितौ योगिरात्.
Next up is Padmasana 4. Place your hands on the respective knees, gaze to your nose, and visualize Paramashiva in your inner space.
एतत् पद्मासनं कुर्यात् प्राणवायु प्रसिद्धये.
Next up is Karmakasana. From Padmasana, keep one hand on the respective knee, hook the other finger around the big toe in Prana Mudra. As you rotate the big toe in a circular motion, visualize yourself as Paramashiva's bow, and then repeat the movement on the other side.
अथान्यासनमापक्षे योगपूरकरक्षणात्.
Now cross your arms behind your back and hold on to the big toes. As you sit in Padmasana, gaze to your nose and visualize yourself as Paramashiva's bow engaging all three bandhas.
कार्मुकासनमाक्षित्य उदरे पूरयेत् सुखम्.
The next asana is Tridhasana. Maintain Karmakasana 3. Lift your chest up and gaze to your third eye, visualizing that you are the action of Paramashiva's third eye. Anything which you come across, you destroy.
ऊरुभ्यामुपरि स्थाप्य पादयुग्मं प्रयत्नतः.
The next asana is Nagdasana. Maintaining your arms crossed behind your back, lay down with your legs in Padmasana. Gaze to the nose and visualize yourself as a snake as you breathe calmly through your nose in Sahaja Kumbhaka.
प्रथम पद्मासन को उठाने, दो हाथ पाछाने आने.
Next up is Kandukasana. Lay on your back and pull your knees towards your chest as you squeeze your body into a ball.
वेत्रासने स्थित्वा हस्तपादान् निष्कुष्य.
Next up is Urdhva Pavanasana. Lay on your back with your knees raised together and your feet flat on the ground. Interlock your hands behind your back and behind your neck and gaze to the nose as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
प्रथमे सूध सैन करावे, घोड़ा उभा राशि मिलावे.
Now place your upturned palms underneath the heels and push your hips up as you lock your throat in Jalandhara Bandha, breathing in Mudra Kumbhaka, visualizing yourself as a powerful alpha ape in Manakata Pitasana.
उत्तान शयन पादतले उत्तान हस्तयोः स्थापयेत्.
Next up is Uttana Shiki Pitakasana. Now bring your hands to the lower back and raise your hips as you stretch your toes, gaze to your nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
जङ्घोरुबलहीनश्चेत् उत्तानशिखिपीठकम्.
Next up is Narakasana. Now raise your legs and hips up, pointing the toes upwards as you keep the arms flat on the mat. Visualize blissfully traversing Naraka Loka unscathed in Narakasana.
ग्रीवाकण्ठेन भूमिं विष्टम्भ पादाग्रद्वयमूर्ध्वं नजेत्.
Next up is Tiryannaukasana. Now bring your arms to the lower back and keep your legs straight, then slowly lower and anchor them, engaging your core as you visualize yourself as a boat crossing the ocean of samsara.
नौकावत् स्थित्वात् ऊर्ध्वं पादाग्रद्वयं नजेत्.
Next up is Dvajasana. Now bring your hands back down on the mat. Keep your legs straight like a flagpole as you visualize yourself as the Kailasa flag respected across all nations.
तिर्यन्नौकावते ग्रीवापृष्ठकोर्परैः भूमिं वष्टभ्य.
Now lay down flat on your back in Vritasana, the final asana of this sequence, as you perform the Shakti Chalan Mudra, forcefully pulling the Kundalini Shakti up along your spine. Visualize that your body is dead and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji, is liberating you. Internally chant the Mahavakyam, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उत्तानं शववद्भूमौ शयनं तु शवासनं शवासनं श्रमहरं चित्तविश्रान्तिकारणम्.
Now slowly return to your physical body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, your wrists and your ankles, your elbows and your knees. Pull your knees up towards your chest and circle your legs with your arms. Rock your body from side to side and return to a comfortable seated position. Congratulations, you completed the Dvitiya Vinyasa Krama, all 308 asanas of the sequence. Now we are going to move on to the power manifestation session. So stay tuned, manifest the Shaktis of Paramashiva as we close the session with the Purna Mantra. Sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line, hands in Namaskara Mudra. Visualize Swamiji as we chant the Purna Mantra.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanavastu. Om Nithyanandam.
Thank you all, Nithyanandam.